Hello, everybody. We're back. Um, how do I? Hello. Hey, everyone. I am back. Were any of y'all in my first live? I told y'all I'd come back. I think I took longer, but I had to watch my episode of MasterChef and eat. And while I was watching, I did my pinky. I told you I was gonna do the other four. So this is what we have. This adhesive is no longer active. So if you weren't here in the first one, this is the plan, just so you're aware of what's going on. So, excuse my hands, always and forever. So these nails that I'm literally doing are for this hand. So this pinky nail is going to end up being here and so on and so forth. I am right-handed and this is line work and stuff. And I don't like to design nails on the little stands with the ticky-tacky, and these are so long. Excuse, blah, blah, blah. So I'm using some, what are these called? Glue tabs, and putting them on this hand to design them. Then I'll pop them off and put them on this hand when I'm ready. So our theme, oh no, you're not late. I'm essentially starting over with, we're gonna do these 3 nails in this plaid design. So this hand is gonna be all the same. So all 3 of these are going to be this gold, red, and black plaid design. Okay, so this hand is gonna be solid plaid. This hand is going to be all 5 different designs, more detailed, a little more bling. And what I'm going to be using are these decals from Daily Charm. And you can use code Tabytha and the number 10 to get a discount at Daily Charm. And if you click out of this video and you go to my last uploaded video, you'll see a link for Daily Charm in that one. So I'm telling you this bit. So we have this gold running through here and it's identical to the gold decals. I want to do mostly black Christmas nails. So that's why these are a black base with the red and gold accents. And so we have those decals and we have these beautiful Swarovski. Yeah, y'all can check afterwards, of course, or you can check this video later and I'll add the link. Just the link, because here, to be very honest and frank, the sale that they have on now might be better than the code I have, but if you click the link that I have under a video, I still will get my little commission that I get from it. If you just go to the website willy-nilly and you're like, oh, Tabytha is only giving me 10%, but they have a better deal, I won't get any commission, which that's absolutely fine. But, you know, if you want to support me, if you use the link, I still get my little low commissions. So let me zoom these in. So these are Swarovski, as I mentioned. Aren't these so cute? Are those glue pads used? Are they better than crazy glue? Better to do what? You may not be using crazy glue to hold your nails on. Let's talk about that. They're pretty strong. They're not like they're better than the little ones for play that we used to use as kids, definitely. If you go to my Daily Charm haul video, you'll see that they hold very well. It might not, I mean, you could probably go to like an event that you're not using your hands all crazy, especially if they weren't the longest nails possible, but You probably couldn't go like a whole day washing hands and stuff like that. But like for a night out or an event, they're probably good. Please don't ever use crazy glue. So I'm going to be using these on the other hand. Now, the hand that I'm going to not be doing on camera is I'm going to record, but I'm going to put up a traditionally edited video. So we'll have live for the plaid hand, which is all going to be the same. And we'll do an edited video up in a couple days with these decals, these little cute reindeer, and etc. I actually sketched out how I wanted to do the other hand. So we'll see. But let's get back to it. So these are already done. I'm going to leave them off over here. And I love how this plaid is looking so far. Okay. So let's get started. Let me put these back up so I don't mess them up. So I have my little fake palette. It's just the packaging for this. And I'm going to clean these off because they got a little bit of lint and dust on them. So let me tell you what I have right here is red. It's Perfect Red from Madam Glam. And it's mixed with some No White top coat just to make it sheer. So that's what I have. And then I have just the Perfect Red by itself that isn't sheer. And you can use different colors for this. If you're on Instagram, you've probably seen Helen. Ooh, I think it's Helen YEG. And she did something similar. Well, she did a much more beautiful, detailed version. These beautiful snowflakes and all this good jazz. I don't have time to hand draw snowflakes. Yeah, the perfect red, perfect blue, perfect black, and perfect white are really good colors to get from Madam Glam. If you just want a good, just bold red, that's the one. Y'all know y'all use code Tabytha and get 30% off. So I'm gonna just put these, I'm gonna see if these, I already peeled these off once before. And the alcohol kind of loosens. Well, it takes away the ticky-tacky. So if they fall off, we'll put them back. It is what it is. See, just like that. I like Madam Glam's poly gel too, if you're interested in shopping there. Let's see if we can hold this one back down. Yeah, we may need another glue tab for this one. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna use another little glue tab on this pointer right here. Just to hold this down while we decorate it. So essentially I am using my left hand as this. Okay, hopefully these are secure enough. These are long. Oh, the thing I got to hold my crystals. I got this one from Michael's. This one with the little carrying case with all these in here. I have some small ones and bigger ones. Yeah, I got it from Michael's. I tried to find another one and I couldn't. So that was some years ago. Okay, so we did a base of black gel polish. Again, Madam Glam's Perfect Black. That's not what I used. It is a great black. I used in the Black's Black, actually. Which that will be coming after the new year. It was gonna come before the new year, but there's so much financial insecurity among people. Like, what do I look like trying to sell you something to make me more money? And, you know, it's just a struggle out there to just exist. That's what this country has done, made it hard to just exist. So I'm being considerate for business purposes and for just, you know, personal purposes. And Andrea's show, right? Income tax. Y'all save up y'all's income tax money and see me, okay? But yeah, the timing just didn't seem, it just didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't feel good about it. Okay, so I'm just mixing a little bit more of this. Again, it's a no wipe top coat in that perfect red. Let's see, and I appreciate y'all so much. But I just wanted to feel, you know, good about launching, and it just did not feel good. I don't know why. I mean, at first I didn't know why. Then I thought about it. I'm like, man, you know, so many people are at this point supposed to be evicted starting in the new year. So many people cannot find jobs. There's not enough jobs for people who are unemployed. There's people who can't find jobs and are going to be evicted, who can't eat food. I mean, just to see the lines out here in Dallas of people who don't have food, it breaks my heart. So, you know, if I don't have to worry about those things and I can't try to take your money at the same time, that's good with me. My heart can't do greed. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm stupid. I'll never be Jeff Bezos. I'll never be that. There's just a certain amount of greed my chest just can't handle. That's when people would ask me, like, if I did like little celebrity nails. People like, oh, what do you charge them? How much do you charge them? I'm like, the same that I charge a regular person. Like, why would I charge them any different? Oh, because they're a celebrity, they can't. Just because you can afford it, what makes you think that I'm going to charge more? That doesn't make no sense to me. If you made me go above and beyond celebrity or not, yes, I'm going to charge more if I have to travel to you, if I, you know, have to do that, which I don't like to travel anyways. I don't do that. I don't do anybody's nails at all, but I digress. But yeah, people would ask that, like, oh, you're going to charge more? I was like, no, that makes no sense at all. Just because they may have $1 million in the bank, that doesn't all of a sudden make these $500 nails. If they want to tip me $500 for doing some $90 nails, that's on them. Okay, back to this. That's my rant while I mix this up. So this is our sheer red. I'm using this orange brush, burnt orange brush from Wildflowers. And it's basically a square tipped art brush. And this is really going to make this simple for us. It's a really easy design. It's a design that you don't have to get 100% perfect. Sorry. So it's a design that'll just look good without like making these perfect 90-degree angles and stuff, especially with this brush. So let's go ahead and start. And I'm gonna start horizontally. You can start vertically, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. So let me see if I can zoom in a little. So I'm gonna start up here. And I'm just going to use the width of the brush to pull across. And don't worry about the strokes. Just adds a little character. It's supposed to look like plaid, you know? And plaid is a piece of clothing which is wefted. It has texture. So if you see little brush strokes and little inconsistencies, I think it adds character to it, honestly. So we're going to do our next line. We're going to leave a space about as big as the brush is across. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to leave this blank, kind of eyeball it, and do it right here. So we have a gap about as wide as that brush. So that's just where we're going to do our second line. We're going to make it kind of as even, not kind of, we're going to make it as even as we can. Again, this does not have to be 100% perfect. And I'm just going to do the same thing all the way down. Let me see. You know, I am actually ignorant to like what makes sense to give to people in shelters. Man, I know like people would give like makeup and stuff to the shelters to help the women have makeup for when they went on interviews and etc. But just this day and age, you know, like regular people. Not that they're not regular. I'm sorry, that might not have been PC, but y'all know my heart. It's just your people who are not homeless, who are not in shelters, are having a hard time getting work and jobs and get little extras. But you know, I think any nice gesture is just that, a nice gesture. So, you know, why not try? Reach out. How about, I think maybe you should reach out to a shelter and see what they say, because they might have a better scope on that. Because they may be like, girl, they don't want no nails. They want a can of beans. Can you bring some beans up here? So we're going, am I in focus? Out of focus? I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and freeze cure this. Flash cure it, whatever you want to call it. Just for about 10 seconds, just so I don't mess up. Oh, that's good. I'm not saying you don't donate, you know, food and things like that. I'm definitely not judging. We're just chilling and chatting, girl. But yeah, I think reaching out to them might be the best thing. Yeah, it's bad out here. That's what I'm saying. There's people living in fully established buildings who are struggling. That's what I'm speaking to, like the amount of people that are to be evicted because the moratoriums on the rent expire at the end of the year. So there's people coming, you know, January 1st, they're going to be asking for 3, 4, 5, however many months of rent, which I haven't been able to pay all at once. Actually, most people have the eviction papers in ready to go, and they're waiting to evict you coming the start of the year. As evil as that sounds. And just gave them time to put in the paperwork, really. But hopefully they extend it and do something. But here's my tip to anybody who, if you have a mortgaged home, do not ever leave your house. I worked in foreclosures for years before I started doing nails. Very familiar with the process. If you ever can't pay your mortgage, do not leave your home. Unless a sheriff comes to evict you. If it's occupied, the bank cannot do anything. If it's occupied with anybody, we used to have people who would squat just on somebody's house. It wouldn't be the owners, it'd just be somebody who just pulled up, or maybe somebody who was doing drugs, or somebody who just out on their luck and just found an empty home. And if you squat there, unless you're evicted, you do not have to leave. Isn't that crazy? Now, some states have squatters' rights. Well, you can take over the deed to a home if you stay there long enough and you get bills turned on for a certain amount of time. You can actually be handed the deed of the house. You can squat somebody's house into yours. It's the craziest thing. Not every state has that though. Oh, I'm shaking my leg and I'm shaking the camera. I'm sorry. It's a little cold. Okay, so we did all the horizontal lines with the sheer red. That's kind of hard to see, but that's kind of the point. You can see it much better in real life, honestly. So what we're going to do is we're going to do vertical lines next. And you can, I said in my last video, you can add as much detail as you want as far as different lines and layer, different things. You can add greens or blues, These don't have to be Christmas colors. They could be whatever. Yeah, squatters' rights is probably one of the weirdest things that can happen. I know in Florida, it kind of stood out to me as one of the states because I was dealing with the foreclosure. At one point, Florida was one of the states that I worked with, and we had a guy squat on this mansion, mini, medium mansion. It was a Florida, kind of South Florida home. It was nice. And he squatted that house, and he got utilities turned on, and that became his house. And we stopped servicing it. It was no longer in foreclosure. He did the paperwork with the city, whatever had to be done, and the deed was turned over to him. Now, he was responsible for the taxes at that point. So if you can pay the taxes on a, $1 million, multi-million-dollar home, no, you don't have to pay a mortgage. You just have to pay taxes. If there's HOAs in that community, you do, but you own the home. But it depends, again, on the law, the amount of time. For example, I'm just giving you an example. If you can squat there for, 6 months to a year successfully, and you get water turned on in your name, and you have paid your water bill for the 6 months or a year, then you can put in paperwork to squat the house. But when I worked on it, when I worked in the mortgage, I worked the houses that were left behind in the 07-08 mortgage crisis. Oh man, it took us a long time. The amount of homes that were empty, and just knowing that they're saying this is going to be way more houses, and just having an understanding on how much the housing market is tied to our economy. It's scary to think about. But yeah, people weren't basically, it was at a time where people couldn't really afford homes. People were not checking for houses like that at that time. So we're gonna go, like I said, vertically now. We're gonna do the same method. We're gonna find out where we want one line to go. Now, I decided on this pattern. I want to do them all the same. So I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of make it where these stones can kind of line up the same. So I'm gonna kind of put one line over to one side. Yeah, every state and locality is different as far as squatters' rights. But my point was, if you have a mortgage and can't pay it, do not ever leave, because the bank will not remove you or take you out of the home unless they filed an eviction. In certain states, you have to go to court to get evicted. Last I knew, Texas was one of those states. But there's several states, it just kind of depends on the state. So you don't have to leave the house until you're evicted. And there's some people, because there's such an influx in people who are going to be in the same situation, it's going to be so backlogged. So what would happen? This is just crazy to me, but hopefully, if I can help anybody. What would happen is, is like I said, the 07, 08 job crisis. Job crisis, housing crisis. It was a job crisis too. So a lot of people, couldn't pay their mortgage, of course, and couldn't find a job, were laid off, and etc. Well, because there were so many people who lost their home, the banks in the state were so far behind on foreclosure. Again, we were working on houses for years that had been, not paid for years. And we were barely getting around them in 2011, 2012. And by that time, you've had 2-3 years just sitting in a house paying no mortgage. So by that time, the market was back. So you could have a job and just go in and, work out a payment deal. And they would much rather, hey, Mrs. So-and-so, you haven't paid in forever, but yeah, we'll do a deal, because they don't want to deal. It's easier to just not take the house. It costs the banks money. So I say that, just say don't leave unless they literally force you out. Because by the time there's so many people that's supposed to leave at the same time, get evicted, there's too many houses. By the time they get around to you, it might be 2024. And you may get a whole new job and everything by then. As soon as you can pay comfortably, try to call them and work out a deal. But don't leave. It's so crazy to me, like, people wouldn't pay for like 1 month or two and they just leave. And I'm like, girl, boy, man, whoever you are, don't leave after a month or two. We're not even gonna do anything for like another year. Just stay there. The least you could do is stay there during that time and find you like a cheaper apartment or something. Like, don't leave and just go out in the streets and say, I can't pay, I gotta get out. Like, if they don't evict you, get you something, go on. But share that with somebody. You don't leave till them police come knocking at your door. Or you go to court and they tell you. Oh, there's protections for them. Yeah, if you're the same thing, if you're yeah, that's what I'm saying. It can be dragged out for years. And I'm not telling people this to be like skeevy, but there's tens of millions of people who are in a bad way, and it's not their fault at all. So I'm not trying to tell y'all to like rook the system and how to steal houses. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm close to the mic. The girl in the last video told me she can hear me breathing. So I'm sorry. Yeah, especially if you have kids. If they're not, again, if they don't have a sheriff at your door, if you've been to court, either or, don't leave. The bank will send inspectors. They'll send inspectors to see if the house is empty. If somebody's in the house, they'll say, oh, it's occupied. Not gonna do nothing. And then that's that. But I worked for one bank. I worked for a few different, but I worked for one bank, and they accidentally, oh my God, demolition the wrong house. Can y'all believe that? Somebody put the order in for the wrong house. Because once the bank takes it over, do what we want with it. And if we think it's a lost cause, there's no money in it, we can demolish it and sell the land and whatever. And somebody put the order in, and I guess they were out at work and nobody was home, nobody was hurt. But part of the process is making sure the house is empty and stuff. And we didn't have enough safeguards at the time. They changed the system after that, like how many times you need to check and make sure it's the right house, and you had to call into a head manager and stuff after that. Oh, those people came home from work, school, and they got their kids pulled up, and it was the wrong house. Their whole house was demolished. Oh yeah, the bank had to pay them some money. Oh, and we heard about it. We had to hear about it. Like I said, they changed the whole process. Well, because some people leave belongings in their house. You'll be amazed the amount of stuff people live in their house will leave. People will tear up the house on purpose. It's like nobody made you leave. But yeah, they demolished their whole house, and they sued the bank that I worked for, and the bank had to pay up. But working that job was crazy. Okay, so we did our vertical lines. Yeah, they'll try to scare you. I'm not gonna lie. But again, unless the police, the sheriff is at your door, or they call you into court, you get a court date and you go to court and they tell you, then it's not a thing. They'll want you out for convenience sake. I'll say that, so they can start taking care of the house, making it pretty, cutting the lawn and etc. Getting the upkeep so they can resell it. Like, they want you to leave so they can get a jump start on it. But they have no case to actually make you leave. Again, unless the police comes. Oh man. I didn't actually talk to people. I mean, it would make me sad sometimes just knowing, but the thing is, that's what I'm saying. The thing is where I worked, we didn't touch the house unless it was completely empty. If we even thought there was somebody in there, like if the water was ran anytime soon, like electricity was on, we didn't do anything with it because it could be somebody living in there, and I'm not about to do anything. The most we would do is cut the grass. If something like that was, if we were kind of unsure, I'm like, just cut the grass. They won't be so mad at cutting the grass. Some of them are crazy, man. In my time working there, we came across two with people who had passed away in the house. And it's like, oh, it's vacant. And you come in there and there's somebody who had passed away in the house. Oh my God. Or people that use it for like drug houses because it's empty. There's like paraphernalia all over the place. Then you have to call in detectives and stuff. That was a crazy job. I did that for like 5 years. 5 years. Okay. The red that I was using was starting to, I guess, cure because of my lights. I have like 4 big lights in here. And some of them are like LED, so it starts to cure it a little bit. So I'm just going to make a new little mixture. Again, it's going to be Perfect Red from Madam Glam. And a clear and a white top coat. Hey, you could probably use one that has a tacky layer, but that's up to you. Yeah, you shouldn't have left, girl. We have people who contact the bank directly to kind of get the house. You could have just seen the options, but some people don't want to deal with it. I absolutely get it, and you just rather go. But you at least, could have stayed for a minute so you didn't have to leave so inconveniently. Oh yeah, if your gel isn't curing all the way through, it may be too thick, or it might be your light. It's gonna be one of those two things. So try to apply it thinner and see if that will help. If that doesn't help, then it's probably the lamp. So we did our vertical lines, our horizontal lines. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for all the nails, just to get them on the same page. Were any of y'all here for my first live? I did the same thing, but I'm gonna start. Again, these are messy. These are going on the other hand, so all this red that's around the cuticle will be gone. Try putting some gel first in the tip and curing it, if that makes sense. Let's see, because they do have a thick C curve. So yeah, you'd buff it and then get some in there and do a thin layer first, and then or you can apply it to your nail. You can build it up directly on the nail first. Either way, try to build it up in layers, either in the tip or on the nail, or both first, and then go in with another layer. If I do this, cure, or again, do the opposite and build, a little apex on my actual natural nail. Cure that and then try. But again, if that doesn't work, it's probably going to be your lamp. Okay, so we're going to do this all over again. Oh, girl, me not you. You behind in the convo? It's just not telling you my celeb story. A discount code for what? Opry or what? I don't have a discount code for Opry. So we're going to do our horizontal lines. check your sun UV. Check the bulbs and make sure they're all working. And then make sure it's not on low power mode. I haven't had issues with the sun lamp not curing. I know people talk crap about them because they're the more like affordable ones. They don't last that well, I will say. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, so I just dunk this in some acetone. I don't really care about my fingers per se. I don't want to kind of straighten this up. No, I don't. Oh, my sad story. I was on them when they had like a couple thousand followers, and it was first like they first revealed their gel-X system, and I was like, what is this? And I was talking about them like, oh, you know, brand ambassador, blah blah blah, and they're like, yeah, we'll have master educators and stuff. And then they got real famous and popping and left me behind. But I really didn't use it like that. There were some nail techs who took it on and started using it as their primary source of enhancement, and I didn't, so. Let's try and get that straight. It looks a little crooked. The shipping for Opry is pretty fast. I know I was looking at reviews and some people did have some complaints, but I'm not trying to make this perfect, but that line was a little way too crooked for me. I'm gonna just go ahead and freeze this. Oops. I'm just going to follow through the other half of this. And when it gets too pigmented, I like to just kind of brush through. We're trying to keep this sheer so we can build up them different layers of opacity. Yeah, these are the Jenny ones, the XXL stilettos. They are long as sin. I could not like wear these for real. And I'm gonna just thin this color out a little bit. Boom. We'll put that in. That time is just flying. This takes me a long time. This is not very difficult. It's a little bit tedious. So. I have red just everywhere. I'm just piecing this out. Man, these are so long. Yeah, I couldn't function. So I'm gonna again do the same exact thing all over again. What are y'all up doing? I know this is probably tedious just to watch me do the same thing. I want to get them all three on like the same place so we can add details at the same time. I have this thing where I have to like work differently. Like it's this weird thing where I have to like sometimes the urge to like do partial things and that makes me feel better. As weird as that may seem. Like if I just do 10% of everything. Yeah, I can honestly say like my client with the crazy long nails, this is probably like longer than her nails would be, or if not like the longest they've ever got. These are long nails. These are almost to the point, and I hate this. I hate when people ask how to use a bathroom, especially as a nail tech, but these are almost to the point where I want to ask. Like, I'm curious how. I hate that when people ask. It's the stupidest thing. Especially, you know, it's been asked a million times. Like, it's just like have an original thing. Like, ask somebody how they cut carrots or something. Oh, I actually used to do my nails like that. I used to keep these short, or these, but it's because I did nails and it was easier for me to do them with those short. Do you know they also told me not to make this type of Scott nails after dark, but they also told me that those could be, that some women like those that are in lesbian relationships. I'll catch my drift. They didn't tell me. I know some people that actually get them done for those reasons. How about that? Sometimes, anybody in nail tech, sometimes your clients be a little TMI. Right? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cure that. Girl, well, just a real quick another TMI. I had one client told me she has stiletto and she was like, yeah, I gotta change the shape of these. I poke my man in his junk. Trying to do intimate things. Y'all gonna make me have to delete this video later. Yeah, I was like, girl, what? You could have just told me to change the shape. You did not have to give me the details of that. Crazy stories. I've had clients, I mean, just in general, clients tell me about their Cheating relationships. I had one living a lavish side life. Oh, and she was trying to figure out how to hide whole cars from her spouse. Like you parking them up down the street around the corner and stuff. Isn't that crazy? So we're gonna do the vertical lines now. Oh, I could never cheat. One, my man's probably the most perfect thing for me. But even when like I wasn't in the relationship I am now, I still like couldn't, cause I was in a bad relationship before this one. Me and my love have been together a year, a little over a year, and if you've been a subscriber for a long time, you know I had like a previous relationship, which I am so glad I could almost shed a tear. I'm so happy that did not work out. But me and my boyfriend now, we've known each other since we were like 14 years old. And we have just loved each other since then. But we have a very, very crazy man. Y'all probably will never hear the story, but he'll probably, if he's around or y'all watch our other channel, he'll refer to it. It's a crazy, I not to like, it's not something I brag about or nothing. It's a very sad story. So I'm not trying to tell you, oh my God, we got the Cinderella glass shoe love story. No, it's a very traumatic and sad story, which makes us appreciate each other like 10 times more. But yeah, he'll tell you in a heartbeat he's loved me since we were 15. I loved him since I was 14. I remember when I fell in love with him. Like I can remember the instant, like moment. I was like, "Oh, what is this? What is this feeling?" And I remember, I'll tell you a little bit of a story. It was actually at my mother's wedding to her current husband, and he was pretending the groomsman that I was supposed to walk down the aisle. I was a bridesmaid for my mom's wedding. The groomsman that I was supposed to walk down the aisle with wasn't there. So he was just in his place. And we were walking down the aisle, and we were like just joking and having fun, all like just, and it was just that whatever he was doing in that moment, whatever happened, he had told me, I was just like, just felt in that moment like, oh, I think I love him. Like I almost felt like I was gonna panic. And I was like 14. Actually, my birthday was like in 2 days. So I'll always technically beat him and like, oh, I've loved you since I was 15. I'm like, yeah, I was 14. But yeah, my previous relationship I was in was very toxic. It was abusive, not physically, but in the most way, very mentally, verbally, and emotionally. Very much so. But my boyfriend I'm with, he's a very emotionally intelligent man. And so he can see that, understand what previous things, make me act a certain way now, help me acknowledge those things. And yeah, I couldn't ask to be like with somebody who's just very like aware of their emotions, he's an empathetic man. He appreciates women. He appreciates the struggle of women. Just everything. Like as I'm not even ever joking. Like as close to perfect as this specifically for me, as as a person can be. Yeah, it is very rare. Man, I literally get so like sad for other women when I see online just the drama that women deal with and oh these men these days and blah blah blah. I'm like, man, I just don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with these new age issues and problems and social media and those type of relationships. And I just don't have that stress and I'm grateful. Never throwing it in nobody's face. It's just like, man, I wish people would. I think if people would experience that type of empathy in a relationship, that type of love from a person in a relationship, it would make you treat people just different. Oh, I'm glad that you got out. It's hard, emotional, like the emotional abuse. And I thought I was, yeah, some people find the perfect person online. It's just that drama, all them side dudes, side women, all that drama, all that, oh, I liked her picture online, it didn't mean nothing type, all those little just childish things. You just don't have a conversation. You don't know how to talk about your emotions. You don't have somebody who acknowledges like what they did wrong is like, yeah, I want to make it better. I'm not going to do this again. And actually does. And vice versa. Like makes me acknowledge like, man, this is something I shouldn't have done. I didn't notice this. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be a better woman. You will be a better man. But we're very like good for each other. Like as happy as y'all hear us. Like that's really as happy as we really are. We each have our own, like I said, our own issues separate, if that makes sense. But together, we're good. You got me about to start this line for a minute. Yeah. And see, I didn't realize, honestly, because I think I'm a tough girl. I didn't realize again until I was with my boyfriend. He like made me so introspective. And I had to realize like, why am I acting in certain ways? And I have to say like, man, I was in an abusive relationship. Oh, and I didn't know how much. I didn't know how bad that it was. Like how weird in a way, like for lack of a better word, how weird the relationship was. Just not normal and not okay. And it's just effortless. It's just I don't have to think real hard. It's just natural, just love, just but it's. Yeah, I don't know. Forgiveness sounds like I'm okay with that person, and I am not. But I know, I mean, I try my best not to let it get the best of me at all. And I don't dwell in that. So if that can sound like forgiveness, it just makes me feel like it portrays that I'm happy with that person. Man, this is too close together. Follow through with it. Okay. So I made this too close together. And so I'm going to swipe it down. Because remember, it's supposed to be the thickness of the brush anyways. The gap is. And this got a little too pigmented, so I'm going to come and swipe that. Yeah, that's also a big thing, is having children and teaching them what it is. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here, Samantha. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of do that and that. I don't think it'll fit another vertical line on this side. Hopefully y'all can see. Oh, I did that one already. Boom. Yeah, my love, right? Yeah. It's kind of weird. I feel always weird calling my boyfriend because we should have been married. Like, I could have, the first day that we like reconnected, we could have got married. Like, after not seeing each other, we went a period of time where we didn't see each other for like 6 years. And literally the first day that I seen him after those 6 years, we could have went straight to the courthouse. And that would have been okay. We can go every day. We just don't. Girl. I don't play those games. I'll block that man on everything. Block you on Cash App, block you on everything. And that's one thing I was gonna speak on. Is a baby with your ex? You have a new baby. You have a new baby because I assume you're saying 10 years later. So that's what I'm thankful for. And I feel bad for, it's unfortunate women who get stuck having babies with men who are like that. Oh. Yeah, see, that's what it does. Boyfriend does seem like be an immature status just because it's not what other people do. Like, I see people throw it around and you just want to take cute Instagram pictures together and whatever. It's like our relationship isn't that. Our relationship is just sitting on the porch, just talking to each other for 3 hours about nothing. But about everything, about nothing and everything. And like lessons, like, oh, he's my boyfriend. Yeah, no, girl, that's my husband. We just not married, just not legally. That's my soulmate. That's why I always call him my love. Like, y'all have to know. That's the epitome of like what love is to me. Besides that, my mom and my sister. Because I can say all three like have the genuine, just non-conditional love. Yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to have him. It's crazy, and I tell him like every single night. It's such an important thing. Like every night, I'm not even exaggerating. I lay next to him for probably like a few good minutes, and I'm like, man, I cannot believe he's here. Like 366 days this year. When they happened, I would have thought that the whole entire every night that we've spent together. Like, man, I'm just so happy. I used to hate going to sleep. Yeah, we live together. We lived together like the moment we got together. Because again, we've known each other for 16 years now or something. I said we could have got married the first day back that we seen each other. And my mom knows them and stuff like that. But we got our own place and stuff now. That's the thing with my last relationship. I was so terrified of that person. Like the thought of like being like living with that person like incited like panic for me in my chest. Like I could have never, like I didn't want to exist by myself with that person. But with my love now, y'all can all leave this earth. It could just me and him, and we'd be just as well. Not that I want all y'all to go. But I just felt so unsafe. Like I said, he was not physically abusive per se, but just threatening and just, man, like talks of like poisoning people and making that threat. Like, is that not an effeminate thing to do? Anyway, something I always say, that's how women usually hurt people, kill people via poison. All right. See, and I had to stop. I used to watch the ID channel way too much. It started messing with my anxiety and my like everything. Yeah. I started watching so much ID channel. I started seeing the repeat stories that they would put on like a different series. Okay, like for example, they would have like killer relatives and tell the story, but then like twisted sisters and tell the same story just from like a different perspective, some different details, but it's the same exact story and family. Like, okay, I already know this story. Y'all see, I'm just using this brush with a little acetone just to kind of clean it up a little bit. Y'all know what gets me? People that go missing. If you watch like 1-800-MISSING or Disappeared, those are the craziest things to me. Because I tell my boyfriend this, like, man, it like piques my interest in like the worst way. Because it's always like, man, she went to work like every other morning, but on that morning, she left cheese on the counter. She doesn't even eat cheese. But we know she ate the cheese because we found the DNA on the chip. And you're like, man, what happened with cheese that made her go missing? Like, why did she eat cheese of all morning? And it's not funny, but it's always something like that, right? And it's like, yeah, she left with a pogo stick. What was she gonna do? You're like, what? Why did you leave with a pogo stick that morning? Why? And then it goes from there. And, it's the one day you left your phone and nobody was after you, but you just left it. And I always think that, like, when I leave the house and, like, some weird thing, I'm like, man, I left with my pajamas on and I accidentally took the remote. And if I go missing, they're gonna think the remote has something to do with it. And it's not. I'm just tripping. Like, I feel like they're gonna, right? With a mismatched shoe and a remote, and you're gonna think something happened. And you're gonna look in the wrong spot. But it's just so amazing to me how people can just, man, literally disappear. Literally, but not like into thin air like UFO disappear. So I'm taking the red. No, we're here for nails. I'm taking the red mixed with no clear, so it's the full pigmented red, and I'm going over the squares that the vertical and the horizontal line crossed. Right? That's what it's always like. And we don't know, but it is crazy to me. And it's like we have no clue, and some of them like giving me chills just to watch. Like, I know, like, it's crazy for, the murder next door and stuff. But I seen one. There's this guy, he went to, and it's always like weird circumstances. Like, his mother had died 2 weeks earlier. This is a real story. Okay, his mother died like 2 weeks earlier from cancer. He was like a med student. If y'all heard this before, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna have all the details, but he was like a med student. And, his friends were like, come out for a night, you've been stressed. I think he was like graduating or about to graduate or something. And him and his friends went like bar hopping. I guess that's what we went to a few different ones. And the last one he went to, they have video of him going in, and they have no video of him leaving, like, at all. Like, to the point that they like checked the walls inside of the bar, like thinking somebody killed him and put him in the walls, because they have zero evidence of him leaving out of any door. They don't show anybody like carrying a body. They don't show, anything. He just went in and never came out. And the way they had it surveilled, like, just the way they had it surveilled, you would expect to see somebody, like, and everybody was accounted for. There was nobody who had disguised him and looks like, was drunk and hunched over. Like, they have no trace of him leaving. And it's like, what does that mean, Like, it makes me so curious, like, where is that person? I get so curious, and it makes me so sad. Like, do y'all, like, want to know, like, how did the earth, like, what was this like when it first began? What will it be after it's all over? Like, just those type of questions, and those ones you'll literally never get answered, and we'll never know. And it eats me up just like that. Like, man, where is this person? Like, are they okay somewhere? Like, what happened? I don't think it was a Kenda story. Or what are y'all talking about? I might be. The shoe with Elvira. The shoe to show. No, I've never seen that. What? Girl, that's crazy. I don't know nothing about that story, but that is crazy. You know one that always sticks out to me? Y'all ever watch you know the one on ID channel where they figured out because of the videotapes? I forgot what that's called. Like See No Evil, I think. And the very like first episode, like season 1, episode 1, is the one. Again, this story always stands out to me. She went to Target in the middle of the day. Okay, it was like 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night. It's still bright outside. It's not how we do 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock right now. It's like summer, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Like we still got 3, 4 more hours of sun, something like that. Girl, and this man in Target just found her. I guess he found her attractive or something. Just in Target. And kidnapped her, walking to her car. And she wasn't parked in the back. She wasn't parked. Girl, right? She was parked like in the center, 5th car from the front. You would never even think. Everything that makes you think you would never get kidnapped. And he darted so fast and took her. And that has just always stuck in my head and amazed me. It's not the craziest, it's not the most grim. I mean, he did kill her, you know, and that is very sad. But it was just like, just the circumstances. Yes, it was just so, it makes me, and I talked about this with my boyfriend, because we always talking about like, man, how much a danger men are to women. And it's something like I can talk to him about. Again, he's a very just like understanding and a very just somebody that tries to understand people and actions and stuff. I'm like, man, isn't that crazy? It's just so animalistic, barbaric of a man. How do you decide? You're just like, oh, she's just so pretty in Target. Just at a drop of a dime like that. You're just going to rush up behind her, take her, rape her, kill her. Is that not crazy? And just how scary, and I hate to sound or be sexist, but I mean it is true. There's nothing more dangerous to women than men. That's it. That's a fact. But at a drop of a dime, you can just be like that and have no previous cases or charges, and just on a random day, you can just do that. That is just terrifying. Right? Like, you could not ask her out, you kidnapped her. And why were you willing to do that? Like, now you're in prison for life, if not on death row, because of a decision you made in a few minutes at a Target in the middle of the day. Right? And not that it makes it better, but I could kind of see, like, it would make more sense if he, like, seen her from afar and had been following her for months and, you know, something like that. Not that it would made it better, but it would kind of hit a little different to me, I guess. But just that you followed her around for 10 minutes at the Target and decided to do that. Yeah, that's sad. Because people will feel like guilt and blame and stuff. Let's go. This is. Are y'all even worried about these nails? Yeah, and that is another reason why I feel so fortunate to have my love. Like, we were just talking about that the other day. Like, man, could you imagine, like, trying to find a partner, like, date somebody in 2020? Because we both, like, sit outside the norms, I would say. I mean, that's just naturally how we are. Kind of like different things. Like, I just couldn't imagine, like, finding somebody who's just, like similar enough to me. Ugh. It's hard. I'm definitely going slower. Sometimes I have to stop because I can't do the thin lines and talk. That's why I hardly ever talk when I'm doing clients. And the clients I did talk to, yeah, we usually took some time. When I do my sister's nails, I do my sister and my mom's nails in one day, and they come over. And my sister doesn't have patience, so I'll start talking to my mom or something, talking about something, and I'll, like, kind of, like, just sit like this, you know, and not do anything. Just talking and being expressive with my hands, and she'll just look at me like just this mad look. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Right? Yeah, people are very shallow nowadays. Weird things matter to a lot of people that just don't matter to me. You'll see this plaid coming along. Um, yeah, I always tell you guys I'm a slow nail tech. And it really just depends on the art, honestly. I can say with, like, an average amount of art, like, I can't, if you have short nails, you don't have any issues with them, you're getting something simple, I could probably have you out in an hour or less, like, especially if it's builder gel, self levels. Like I said, short, like this short, maybe a little, maybe like a quarter inch to half inch longer. But if you're, you know, coming in for a longer set of nail, a refill, and you want certain designs, if it's not too elaborate of designs, I may can get you out in 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And then when you start getting, if I did something like this on a client, we're probably talking about 4.5 hours or something. Oh yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, girl. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be honest. I think that me and my love stay around each other, like to a point, like, man, we don't want to anything to happen and us be separated from each other. So I'm sorry for your loss, and yeah, I applaud you for just being here in this live, girl. Yeah, I'm not okay. So I'm not into colored acrylic, and I believe you should definitely charge more, a good amount more for it, because of the amount of time it does take to file it down. Caps apply the color, which is usually colors generally harder to work with. I'm not saying it always is. I'm not saying every brand is, but generally it's just a little more difficult to work with. Not only do you have to apply the color, you have to build the nail back up because you need to encapsulate that color generally. So yeah, please charge accordingly for it. But otherwise, that's why I always push gel polish to people. And I tell them exactly for that reason. Like, it's going to take so much extra time when you come back. So if I can do a look with gel polish, I do. That's why y'all see me work with gel polish so often. It's much more versatile. And I don't, if you apply gel polish, like, I don't ever have gel polish flaking or chipping. So some people sell it like, oh, it's a permanent design. It won't come off because the nail is built with it. Yeah, if you apply gel polish correctly, you're gonna have zero worries. And I don't have those issues. But there's some things that I can't do a gel polish. And that one of those things would be a good ombre, like a baby boomer. That's hard for me to get to a point that I like with gel polish. A vertical ombre, I usually feel fine with. I think for pricing, one way to consider it, and I'm not telling you what to charge, but a consideration to make. Oh, hold on, my like tailbone is hurting. Um. Ooh, ow. Ooh, my body's not used to this. My tailbone hurts so bad sometimes. Um. But think about how much you're making per hour. Think about your prices in per hour. Like, start with your thought. Again, I'm not going to tell you what to charge. You have to consider supplies, overhead for, if you're not working from home or are, things like that. But at the end of it all, think about how much you're making per hour. Do you want to be making, $9, $10 per hour? Do you want to be making 20? Do you want to be making 30? Think about that with what you charge. My goal was always to make $30 an hour. So I thought about my artwork, how I charged, and things like that. How long would this take me? Well, if this is going to take me 10 minutes and I want to make $30 an hour, that means I need to make, $2 every 1 minute? So if this is taking me 10 minutes, it needs to be $5 or, you know, that kind of math. Just for let's do simple, make it simple. If you want to make $60 an hour, 60 minutes, that's $1 a minute. So if I look, I have spent so far an hour and a half, 90 minutes on doing this design. Of course, I've talked and I took longer, but I would need to charge accordingly. So if I took this nail and doing this design from beginning of end and it took me 25 minutes, that's something I would probably charge about that much money for, if that's my goal, considering my overhead. And of course, it matters your geographic location. But again, consider your time, the literal time into that. So some designs may seem easy, some, not. There's some that look elaborate, like marble looks very elaborate. Usually it doesn't take me as long. And it looks very layered and detailed. It doesn't take as long. So I generally don't charge as much for marbles. I charge, but not as much, because doing structured lines and stuff like that is more. So in my pricing, and y'all know I sell my pricing guide, and you will see on there that I charge for line work, the amount of lines I have to do, I charge for. So I consider the amount of lines, because I'm thinking, okay, if I'm doing 2 lines on a nail, it's probably not going to take me that long. So maybe I'll charge, $2 or $4. But if I'm doing this many lines, it's probably going to take me this many minutes. And, if I'm doing this many lines, it's probably going to take me a while. I'm charging, X amount of dollars per nail. My pricing guide, if you look at, I don't have it on here now. It's hard. I can't put nothing in the description bar in here. But if you go to one of my previous videos, any of them, you'll see it in the description bar. There's a link. And if you click the link, it'll take you to where you can pay for it via PayPal or a credit debit card. And it'll send you a link. And it's $35, but I have a discount, and you'll have to look at the video. I forgot the discount code. But if you look at the video, you'll see the discount code. I'm not on here trying to sell that to you guys, but if you're interested, of course. But it comes with 4 documents, and I call it a pricing guide. It has all my pricing, and I have it broken down in 4 different sections. What I charge for enhancements, what I charge for artwork, what I charge for natural nails, what I charge for removal services, and my prices are in there. So you can scale your prices accordingly. But then I also have a page with client courtesy, and it's printed out. Again, I always tell people you can change it and make it prettier, and change the font, change the color, add some borders, add some pictures. Oh, sorry, I get choked up. I was eating spaghetti. Change it and make it prettier, but it shows things, and I always recommend people print it out, put it in your office so people can read it while they're getting their nails done. Put it on your wall or something. What I provide for you is soft copies. So they're in Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and you do what you want with it. I took mine to Office Depot. I had them print them out, laminate it, and bind it into a book. And I don't know where it is right now. Then I also have my appointment guide. And this has so many considerations. It's, telling people cancellation policies, tardy policies for you as a nail tech. Because I would give people 15 minutes. And if I was late for your appointment, I would take money off, because it's only fair. If you're late for your appointment, I'm going to tack money on. If I am late to your appointment, I'm going to take money off. It tells people, please don't eat food. Please consider your phones, yada, yada, yada. And then I also have a page about keys to longer lasting nails. That's something like you can print out, again, put on your wall, something you can laminate and put on your desk, or something like you can hand them, just like to take home, like tips. You can like fold them up and like, here's some tips to help your nails last longer. Here's a cuticle oil and some tips or something for your nails to last long. So people will know. There's things you can keep to yourself and just, you know, learn some information to portray to them. Again, people have found really unique ways to use the information in that pricing guide, but I'm not here for that. I'm just letting you, it's something that, you know, I think is a good thing. It just so happens that I sell it. Yeah, and I love having a pricing list. So if anybody had to dispute it or ask a question, oh, we can go down here together. Look, this was $35. This was $40. You wanted two of those. They were 10 each. I cut these down and redid them. That was $5. We add that together. Boom. Horror client stories. I did have one client before where I'm at now. I lived with my mom for years. I always tell people this story. And I had one client, oh y'all, the bougiest. She is the bougiest that she wanted to be. And so we live in a pretty nice neighborhood, my mom do. I mean, I still feel like I do. But where she lived was a pretty nice neighborhood. And I would, well, at the time I didn't feel like I needed to tell people to not park in my driveway. Why would you park in somebody's driveway, like as a guest? So she parked in her driveway, and I seen her kind of where my office was in my mom's house. I could see like out the window, and I'm like, man, did she just pull up in my driveway? And then next thing I hear is crash, boom. And my mom is like coming out of the kitchen area, and she's like, what was that? And I'm like, man, I don't know. And then she comes back in and she was like, somebody just drove through my garage. And I'm like, what? And she's like, Tabytha, is that your client? And I'm like, oh man, I think so. Y'all, this woman was so bougie. She hopped out the car. She's like, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I just got this car, and it was like I don't even know. I'm not even wealthy enough to know what kind of car it was. It was a loaner car to replace her Bentley that was in the shop. I believe it was a Bentley. But her loaner car was like a fancy something else. And she was like, I just got this. It's a rental car. I don't know. And it had like some bougie way to like make it park. You know how those futuristic cars are. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know how to use that. And so she's like, yeah, I didn't know how to put it in park. I thought I did. And so when she thought she put it in park, she hopped out the car and it just kept going and drove through her garage. Man, thankfully she was wealthy enough. That's the good part, that she got that garage replaced the next day. Like, the next day. So she spent $1,000. That was her first time coming to me. She spent $1,000 on the garage plus her nail appointment. Like she's like, this is the most expensive nail appointment I ever been to. I'm like, sure is. Why would you not park in the street anyway? And we had a park across the street. But like, why would you park in somebody's garage? She came back a few times. Okay. But this is what happened. I did do her nails. And then she had to call her husband because they were they were contractors. They flipped houses. She did like blah blah blah. So they were familiar with the housing market. And she did come back a few times, and she just was a little high maintenance for me. And then she had a baby, right? Flash forward like a year or two. I was doing her nails off and on. She was always on trips, bougie. And not that I'm hating, I want to be on trips all the time too, right? But so she had a baby, so she took some time off from coming to me. And she was like, at that time, I had started asking people. I lived across the street from our park. We had a private park in our community. But listen to me. We had a private park in our community, and it was across the street from my house. So you could park there. Like this is our house right here. And maybe not directly across, but maybe like right here. And this girl made me count the steps. This is how crazy this was. She made me count these steps. It was from this park to my house. And it had to be, I think I counted in 25 or 30 from parking there to my front door. So it wasn't literally across. It was catty corner, but not far. Okay? So in the future, she came back. And I was like, when you come here, park across the street at the park. Because we had an HOA, and certain people would park on the street, and this was their parking, this was theirs, and we had cars. We had 4 cars at the house, okay? We had 2 in the driveway, 2 up front. I'm about to tell you why I counted the steps. Because this woman said, oh, I do not feel safe parking my car right here. Mind you, my office, you can see right here. So if you park directly in front of the house, it's right along here. This is not to size, but the car would be right here. Like you could still literally see it as clear as day. It's across the street and down a little bit. But you can still use your beeper. Like it's not far enough to not be able to, like I cannot portray to y'all how not far it was. I want you to know, like this is where you would have parked, and this is where I asked you to park. That's why I counted the steps. Like, man, am I tripping? No, it's literally 30 steps from the front door to where your car is going to park. If you parked right here, it was like 6 steps less from here to here, maybe 7. And she did not want to park there. And she was like, yeah, I do not feel safe. And I'm not trying to brag or anything. But again, we lived in a nice neighborhood. We lived, not that all HOAs are nice, but we did. We had a private park with a private pool, okay? And so I don't understand. Like, you wanted to be so like bougie and upscale. You acted like somebody living in a nice neighborhood and not a rich neighborhood was like beneath you. Like we lived in the hood. Oh, we were very far from that. Again, not to be bragging, but just stating what is facts. So that was insulting. That insulted my mother. She's like, oh, what is that? Like, what? Like you're going to get, yes. And again, you could still see the car. You can still lock it. I can open the blinds and you can see it as clear as day. And she didn't want to. And then she was like, oh, I'm gonna need to pump a few times during my appointment. Now, okay, y'all, I'm all for in pertinent places, pump when you need to, feed your kid, that's food. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, if you want to pull a titty out and feed your baby in the middle of the street, do it. I'm not one of those people, okay, at all. But you're doing something that you don't have to do. You're doing something on my time. You're obviously not at a point where you're ready to do so. You're just not. You want to get back have the experience of having your nails done, your hair done and stuff. And obviously just is not the time. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have the time to sit here and wait for you, because she's like, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do it twice during our appointment, and I want to leave at a certain time, and I'm gonna want this. And it was something, again, I'm a slower nail tech. I'm gonna do a good job, but I'm slow. And it was just too much on top of all that. And then I was like, yeah, no. I mean, I said it in, of course, a nice professional way. It was just too much. And I'm like, yeah, no. And so she was like, well, I'm going to cancel the appointment. And I'm like, well, you're going to owe me $35. And that's it. And I was like, almost willing to, like, make the accommodations for her to pump. Because, again, I'm not trying to be insensitive to that. But it was just like, on top of the whole car, like, you wanted me to move my vehicle out. Like, I was going to have to move my vehicle to this parking spot, but I was going to have to move it back because, again, we lived in an HOA, so my car couldn't sit over here overnight. So I had to go out here, move it, have it here, move it back. It was just so godly inconvenient for me for not enough money. So I was like, girl, go. I'm good. And she didn't want to pay her $35 for canceling her appointment. And I'm like, I'm not canceling an appointment. You are, because you don't feel comfortable. No, I'm not inconveniencing myself because, like, you want to sit here and play me out and act like I live in somebody's hood or ghetto. And I just didn't. Again, some people do. They have to. That's fine. The brass tacks, we just didn't. And so, yeah, that was a client. Let me do these nails while I talk to y'all. And I'm gonna use this matte top coat. And then I had this other client. Oh, y'all. Let me tell you about this other client that I had. Let me try it, because this was some years ago. It was layered drama. Hold on, I gotta hold my breath and polish. Okay, so I had this one client, and it was actually blessed. I think it was my first time seeing her, going to see her. Now, she had hyped me up. I used to think people were something, if that makes sense. Like, she was a stylist for the radio station and some of our local radio station celebrities. Oh, and she was so well known for scamming. I had told another client this story like a couple years after that, because this was probably like 5 years ago by now. So about 2 years ago, I told a client this story, and she was like, girl, I know exactly who that is. And I didn't give her no details on her name, and she named her off top. And she's like, I know exactly who that is. I don't know her personally. She's just so known. And I was like, what? So she was a stylist, and she like styled like who it was, a hot rapper at the time. I don't know his name. Oh, what's the one with one eye? The one with one eye. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound insensitive, but that's the only thing I can remember about him. She had like styled his video or whatever, and did the local, radio celebrities. Yeah. That's his name. And so I was like, okay, maybe she can connect. Like, I was worried about, connecting, doing bigger things. And so there's another popular nail tech out here in Dallas. And she was going to her, but to the other popular nail tech, and she was going to her, and I knew she was. And for some reason, I cannot remember. Oh, I think she was booked. The other popular nail tech was booked. Not that there's a few out here, but at the time, it was what it was. I'm just being honest with y'all. And so she was booked, and she hit me, was like, Tabytha, my client need appointment. She going out of town. She doing important type things. Her and her daughter want an appointment. And I'm like, cool. Again, I used to think people were something. So I'm like, okay, cool, connections. So I'm gonna put that in again. She booked the appointment. She wasn't able to make it because she had a flight. And she wasn't making that time, and I'm currently in the airport now. I mean, always sounding like she got big plans. And at the time, I'm believing her. So she missed an appointment. She missed the appointment for her daughter. She missed another appointment after that. And I don't think she booked her daughter again. And then she hit me up and she's like, okay, for real this time, I want to book. And I didn't charge her because I'm thinking, oh, she's somebody. She's going to hook me up or whatever with connections. And I was just kind of timid. I also felt weird about charging people for canceling appointments at the time. And that's one reason I started doing the pricing guide, so I can hold myself accountable with clients. But I needed Tabytha to do what she needed to do. So I by this time I've missed money, because I think at that point I was charging like $70 an appointment, like minimum. So she's missed 3 appointments, so that's $210 I've missed for keeping up with the money. So she booked another appointment, and it was her daughter for like Monday or Tuesday, and she booked for her daughter for Thursday or Friday for her homecoming. And I was like, it wasn't my business. I'm like, oh, she gonna pull her out of school, because it was a 1:00 appointment. So I was like, okay, I guess. So she came on that Monday or Tuesday in the week. Okay, her appointment's at 1. And again, I'm still thinking she's something. And she's like, yeah, I'm coming from a photo shoot, a stylist shoot. I'm coming from this local celebrity spot. And I'm headed to you. And she was like, oh, my card got stolen last night or something like that, or I lost it. And she's like, I'm gonna stop by the bank. She had sent me a set right earlier, like the day before or something like that. And she was like, how much for that set? And I was like, oh, I think it was like 70 or something, 75. I believe 70 was my minimum, something like that. Anyways, details. So I told her a price, let's say 75, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna stop by the bank, get the cash out, and then be onto you. Come to where you are. So her appointment's at 1. This lady show up at 2:30. And again, this is why I needed to make rules to hold myself accountable for people, because I would not take people. I started not taking people past 15 minutes. Past 15 minutes, minute 16, oh, I cancel you. My door is locked. I'm not answering it. You can knock all day. So shouldn't have accepted her. She showed up, and then she had shown me this set that she wanted, right? And when I was talking to her about it, I was like, oh, I was breaking down. I was like, the one with the, bling. Okay, do you want it exactly like that? She's like, yeah, exactly like that. These same crystals? Yes. Girl, why I'm putting a phone to my ear in real life like y'all can see me. So she gets there, and she's like, well, can you do full bling on this one? Full bling on this one. She wanted them long. She wanted them like down to here long, super long. And then can you put a little extra bling on this one and on this one? And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm not thinking anything of it, because again, I think you're stylish. And I figured I'd tell you the price. Like, you would want more money. You probably already have some cash. You just want to make sure you had, enough. And so I did it all, and at the end I told her the price, and so it's a way higher price. It's like maybe like 110, 115 or something like that. Girl, yes, she still want to pay that little $75. Oh, this is the killer. She didn't even have all that. She didn't even have all that. She shorted me $2 more. She shorted me two. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what it was. She didn't have the $2 to make the 75, so she had 73. How about that? She had 73, and then she owed me another 25 because I remember the drama was that she owed me $27. That's what she did. So whatever 75 plus 25 more, I guess that's 100. So you owe me $27. Yes. And she's like, oh, can I write you a check? And I'm like, yeah, no, you're not going to write me a check. And she's like, well, I can PayPal you the money or send it later or something. I'm like, okay, cool. At this point, I'm trying to be like considerate. I'm like, oh, she's stylish. She good. She got it. It's just a mistake. But I thought it was weird. If you got $75 out of the bank, if I told you 75, why did you not have $80? Why did you not have 420s? I mean, I guess you couldn't use your debit card, but it just seemed like an awkward amount that you would have. And like you were like scrubbing to find those last few dollars to make it to 73. And so there was a whole bunch of drama because her daughter's appointment was that Friday. So she's like, oh, I'm going to bring the money with my daughter's appointment. And then why that time come and like 10 minutes before the appointment, she's like, yeah, my daughter's not going to be able to make it. She got school. And I'm like, yeah, you knew she had school on a Thursday or a Friday at 1 o'clock. She's doing it for her homecoming on a Saturday. I asked you this, like, oh, it's okay. Oh, okay, I'll pull her out of school. Oh, I forgot she had school. What does that mean? What kind of parent are you? And she was like, but I'm gonna bring you the money. Okay. So I worked from home. Ain't nobody there in the whole middle of the day. It's just me. And she's like, oh yeah, I pulled up there. I knocked on the door with nobody there. I'm like, yeah, no, you didn't. I'm the only person here, and I don't leave anywhere at all. No, you didn't. So the next day, she's like, oh, I'm gonna come back the next day. Never came. I pulled the same thing. Oh, I pulled up there. I pulled up there. You must have left. No, you didn't. I'm like, okay, send me my money. So this goes on for a while. She's to this day never paid me this money. Fast forward. And now I'm like, man, you have not paid me for the first 3 appointments you missed, for your daughter's other appointment, and then you didn't pay me the rest of the money for this appointment. So that's 4 appointments times 70. That's $280 plus the 27 you owe me. You owe me over $300. Okay? I'm out of $300 behind you. How fair is that to me? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna pay you. And there's this one instance where she was acting like she was in the airport, but she wasn't. I can't remember the details, and I was dying laughing. Like, she is just a stunner. She's just a liar. So I actually messaged the other nail tech, the other popular nail tech in Dallas, and I'm like, girl, who is this girl that you sent me? And she's like, oh, girl, she is a mess. She did try to schedule again. She told me, oh, I'll pay you that money. My man wants me to get my nails done. Can you travel to me? Girl, I wish I would pack up all this stuff to come over to you, and you owe me all this money and you ducking and dodging me and stuff like that. Girl, I wish. Ooh. I don't leave to do anybody's nails. I'm gonna be honest. I did that once with one celebrity, and I did not like that. You'd be hard pressed to get me to leave and do somebody's nails even without corona. And she kept playing me out of the money. And then I asked the other nail tech girl, okay, listen to the other nail tech girl's story. She said, yeah, girl, she came and told me she forgot her wallet, and she's like, I'm gonna write you a check. And she's like, yeah, she wrote me a hot check. And I was mad about it. And I guess she worked in like a plaza, not a plaza, like a suite thing. And on top of that, the stylist girl who did stylist for she did lashes. How about that? She did lashes. So just like you're a service person, that's what really got me. You provide personal services. So the other popular nail tech said she was getting her hair done at another suite in there. And she's like, she said she was telling the hairstylist about her client writing a hot check. And she was like, girl, she wrote me a hot check too. So she wrote the other popular nail tech a hot check. She wrote the hairstylist she went to a hot check. She came and tried to write me a hot check, and I said, oh no, you're gonna have to pay me real money when you come back. So she tried to write us all hot checks. And then tell me why I was part of this like local, at some point they had like a local group. And somebody was on there talking about her, talking about she had went to a regular nail shop and wrote a hot check, and they were like blocking her from ever coming back and stuff like that. Oh, it was crazy. And I'm like, man. So fast forward, like I was telling y'all, about 2 years later, I'm telling this client of mine who's a makeup artist, and I was telling her this same story. And she was like, why did she say her name? She's like, girl, I know who that is. Of all the people, I live in the DFW. There's 3-4 million people up here. And she's like, I know exactly who that is. I've never worked with her directly. Her reputation just precedes her. I'm like, man, that's a shame. And to this day, I had to block her. Well, because of that. But also it made me mad. Like, you're sitting here and you're styling and you're up in these local celebrities' faces or low grade celebrities' faces and stuff. And you just owe so many people money and you're acting like you're doing so good in life. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, you gonna run out of nail techs. To the point, I let like 3 nail techs know. Like, I messaged them like, this is her name, this is her information, this is what she does. This is what she does for work. Just so if she started to try to go under another name or something, you would know this is what she looked like. And I sent that to 3 different nail techs at a different point in time, just so they know not to get scammed by her. So I know there were some nail techs she wasn't going to. Yeah, she probably watching this live trying to figure out how to do her nails. That's my story. Y'all got me all telling stories. I'm using this Chrome. Yeah, the ghetto. This Chrome top coat. I'm gonna do these lines kind of similar to this because I want these stones to kind of be on the same side. So I'm gonna do it over to this side, and then one up here. And I'm gonna stop talking to y'all because y'all are keeping me up. Okay. I'm supposed to do these now. I'll tell y'all. And last time I was on live with y'all, I told y'all to tell my boyfriend I was up messing with y'all. And I looked, ain't none of y'all told him. So I'm gonna just pull this straight down. Ooh. I hold my breath. Whew. And we're gonna do it again. Yeah, that was all real ghetto. But that's probably the 2 most craziest client stories. And it's not the most craziest. I mean, I had little like instances past that. Like, I had one client, I told her I was not feeling well. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't end up having, I just was not feeling good. But for the sake of principle, she got mad at me. And I told her a few hours before. And here's my thing. If I can feel better, just because I have like other, like I have a heat intolerance. So if I wake up hot, I feel sick, like I have the flu, like immediately. If I can cool down, I usually will feel instantly better. It's like I immediately get over this flu feeling. I've never actually had the flu in my life, knock on wood, this ain't wood. But it's that type of feeling. I just have a heat intolerance. And if it gets like crazy hot in the middle of the day for no reason and we don't have the air balanced well, it'll make me feel sick. I also deal with anxiety that I did not have regulated for a while. So, and then just other things, not eating healthy, being very overweight. I'm still overweight, but being very overweight. Like, you know, I've lost like 110 pounds. But that just messes with the way you feel and your everything. So I didn't know what was wrong. I just did not feel good. And so my thing was, if I can feel better for your appointment, I'm 100% going to try it because I don't want to reschedule you. So I like, okay, I give you a heads up, like, hey, I'm not feeling good. I want to feel better for your appointment. But look, if you want to go ahead and reschedule right now, we can do that. If you want to wait and I'll let you know, let's say your appointment's at 7, like I'll let you know by about 5:30 if I'm feeling any better so I don't give you, you know, hold you out too long. So he's like, okay, I'll wait. I'm trying to have my appointment. She was a little brash then. I'm like, whatever. And she's at work, you know, trying to type fast. Thank you guys. And she so I told her at like 5:30, like, yeah, I'm not feeling better. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to reschedule. Oh, and she got mad at me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's wrong. And she's like, well, that don't make no sense, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, this is why I felt like it's a very courteous way to give somebody, you know, a heads up. She went left. And I'm like, the principle of the situation is you have like a 2-year-old son. You don't know what's wrong with me or what I have. So you would like, oh, I need my nails done. It don't matter, like, blah, blah, blah. It was just so insensitive. Like, you wouldn't even try it in Corona times. But it was something that had always baffled me, just how rude you were. Like, no, oh, girl, I hope you feel better. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you for, because I still let her know, like, an hour and a half ahead of time. And plus, I told her earlier in the day that I wasn't feeling good. I probably told her like around 1 o'clock that same day. We can go ahead and reschedule right now. Just so, like, that's the best way I know not to be inconvenient. Like, so you can have your night. Maybe you want to go out or something. And you're like, oh, well, I'm not getting my nails done. I'm going to go do something. If you want to wait and see, like, oh, I'm not doing nothing tonight, I'll wait around and see, you know, if you feel better, girl. But I don't want to wait until 6:55 to tell you. So I give you like an hour and a half or whatever. I am not taking clients. I haven't taken a client since March. But everything isn't shut down. But I cannot risk it at all. At all, at all. Y'all watch about long COVID is so scary. And I hate how many people don't take it serious. Just the effects, just to see healthy people get it. And people keep on saying like, oh, you know, just get your immune system right. Yeah, it's not just that. I'm sorry. There's people who are very, very healthy. I'm trying to see where I should put this cross line. And there are people out here very healthy who get it and it just devastates their body. People in tip-top shape and it just devastates their body, and I'm not in tip-top shape. And I could get it and be absolutely fine. That's the crazy thing, is there's people who are 80 years old who get it and are just fine. There's people that are 20 and get it and die. Yes, it's better to have a good immune system, of course. It's better than having a bad immune system. But that does not dictate how it's going to function in your body. A lot of it is genetics and DNA and markers in your DNA that scientists just do not understand. Oh, girl, you gotta go. Well, thank you for hanging out with us, Samantha. You have a good night. Yeah. And it's just like, there's so many things. I wish people would be humble enough to say they don't understand something, because I don't understand. Scientists, doctors, the most educated ones don't understand everything that happens within the body. And that's just the truth of the matter. So why do you feel just, oh, let me have, y'all just need to take y'all's vitamins? Yeah, no, that's not what it is. When marathon runners and people who work out, people who do take their vitamins and get vitamin D and are perfectly healthy besides that, get sick, especially people with long COVID and the way it is affecting people's brains. And some people are on oxygen permanently or indefinitely. Let me say indefinitely. Otherwise healthy. I was watching a little special on people with long COVID, and they had mild cases of COVID, very mild cases. But the effects afterwards have been strenuous. I seen one on a marathon runner and one on a physical trainer. And they both are like, yeah, I have a hard time just walking down the block. This one, the physical trainer said she had a hard time walking up and down the stairs getting groceries. They have memory issues, brain issues, migraines, and things like that. And it's like, why are y'all risking that? They had mild cases. They're reporting people who had like asymptomatic, what they thought to be asymptomatic cases, having like cognitive, like brain issues. And it might not be anything super serious. It's just that you forget something a little bit quicker. You're kind of a little slower to think of a word. And it might not seem serious to you, but why do we want millions of people walking around just a little bit slower? Why do we want people, we don't know the long-term effects. Like, yeah, right now it makes you forget a word every once in a while. But, 20 years from now, is that going to make you have early dementia or something? And it's like, we don't know. It hasn't even been around long enough. And I don't understand why people will risk it. They're like, oh, you can't be shut in the house. It's like, man, but I can remember my words. Well, all the words that I don't feel like I want to remember. I don't forget more than usual. See, and that's the thing. And that's why I try to tell people, like, I understand. And I was on Facebook arguing with this girl, which I shouldn't be. And she's like, yeah, I have claustrophobia. I can't wear a mask. I'm like, well, you don't go out like that. That's it. But, if you can't wear a mask, get things delivered for the sake. Like, it's just like, how could you, if I get this illness and I give it to somebody and they die, I don't know how I would be able to sleep at night. And the fact that people are willing to just do that casually, like you can casually kill someone. I can just go to a party for somebody I barely like. I don't really like her that much. I'm gonna come to her party. And you could kill somebody for that. And it's like, man, I feel like I'm living in the wrong place, because my spirit just can't handle that. And the thing is, here's the sad part about it, is if we all wear masks correctly, the chances of us getting it is very, very slim. Scientists know that. There's other countries besides America where they don't have a problem wearing masks, or they don't have a problem staying home if they can't. And they have little to no cases. So it's been proven that if you take it seriously and everybody just wears masks correctly, we can control it. But we've made it about other things when it's just scientists. Scientists, it's just science. Like it's a germ. It doesn't care that you're Republican, that you're Democrat, that you think it's silly, that you look ugly with a mask on. It does not care. Okay. I did not tell you what I was doing. So basically what I did is I top coated it, and I couldn't find a top coat, tacky layer top coat that wouldn't leave the surface rubbery enough where the gold chrome didn't stick to it. So I just used the matte. And so what I did, sorry y'all, me and my little indigestion. What I did was, burnish the gold onto here so you see it, it's the shiny part. And because I don't want it to be on the entire nail, I need to top coat it and seal it in now. So when I go in, I'm gonna go in and wipe it off with acetone, and then it's just gonna leave the gold behind. Does that make sense? All right, Deanna will be here. Yeah, it's just like, man, I used to get massages regularly, and y'all would hear me like in videos probably a couple times or in lives. I complained about the toll it's taking on my neck and back, and I used to be able to get massages regularly to help me out with that. And my jaw pain, I get jaw pain and tightness. I clench my jaws and stuff. Like I said, I used to get massages regularly. It wasn't really an issue, but now I just do my mom and my sister's nails, and the pain. It's just like, man, I just want a massage. But I'd rather deal with the pain than risk getting COVID. Right? Oh, girl, he does rub my neck. He does rub my neck. But he's not a licensed massage therapist, okay? I need somebody. I had a girl, I loved her. And sometimes I'm thinking, like, does she take COVID seriously? Will she come to my house? I'm just too scared to risk it. But, a nice little massage is good, and it helps relieve it, And I do the yoga and stuff like that to help. I just have to find alternative ways to kind of help it out. Y'all know I take CBD. And I get my, little CBD rubs and stuff. But he does. But it's just not, I love him to death. He's just not a licensed massage therapist, And yet those people are trained and understand muscles and where to put pressure points. And she would do this whole little thing. And she just understood. She could feel which muscles were tight and which way to pull them and separate them and lift them. And it was painful, but it felt so good after. But he'll do it. He just rubbed my neck earlier. He's asking me about it when I went up in my little break from the live. He's like, okay, don't be making your neck hurt. Don't be down there all night. Where he went to sleep. My love likes to go to sleep very early. Oh, Deanna, I'm so sorry to hear. that crazy? Ooh, my hand just kind of jumped. Y'all see that? That almost was a mess. This kind of looks cool, right? Just a solid gold and it had that. I kind of think that's cute. Yeah. I have been sleeping early for a minute. I'll honestly say I can tell that eating bad food again. I've had like a cheat 3 weeks. Like for my birthday, for Thanksgiving, before and after my birthday, a little bit after Thanksgiving. And I really feel like my sleep suffers because of that. And then I just took a break. Like I used to walk like we usually do like 3 to 6 miles a day. Walking, work out for an hour, and do yoga every day. We have been doing that for a long time. And we kind of, I more so teetered off. And he's like, oh, just enjoy it. Don't go for a walk. It's your birthday, about to be your birthday week. It is your birthday week. Oh, it's after your birthday week. We can still count it as your birthday week. Oh, it's Thanksgiving week. I ain't got no excuses now. But I can tell, like, just the difference of having healthy habits and how my sleep went and having unhealthy habits. And so I'm just wiping the excess of that gold off. And so it leaves this. And I'm just using some acetone actually. Isn't that cute, y'all? The gold is gold chrome from Daily Charm. Like I said, you can use code Tabytha and the number 10 to get 10% off. But if they have a better sale, let me tell y'all, definitely use the code for the better sale. If you want for me to get commission and support me, if you use the link to shop, the Daily Charm link that I put underneath my video, I'll still get commission even if you don't use my code. But don't inconvenience yourself or anything like that. But in the rest of my videos, you'll usually see a little link you can follow. And it'll take you to their website. Just because they've been doing like holiday sales that are better than the 10% off my code will get you. And so, for making my little commission. But I've used Daily Charm for years before I was affiliated with them. That's what I appreciate, like, about like all the companies I work with. Not that it's a whole bunch, but it's always gonna be ones like I genuinely like. I know YouTubers always say that, and I like to believe them, but I just know my heart. There's brands that I tell y'all about that don't give me commission, and I just like them, I enjoy them. There's brands that have given me free stuff or have offered to give me money, and I just don't like their products, so I'd say no. Because I'm not going to do that. Y'all are going to realize, like, my conscience does something to me. Okay, so I'm gonna add some just black lines, just layering, just to put back over the gold, just to add a little more detail. So I'm gonna come down and do it. Oh, this is so hard to do because they're so long. Just to add some more solid black back in here. And see, now that pushes that gold back a little bit because I have a black line covering it. And we're gonna do that. And we're going to do, because again, I want these stones at about the same spot. So I'm kind of putting them around the same area because we put the stones where these cross on this gold line. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the light. But again, you can add so many more layers beyond this just to kind of weave it in and out. Oh yeah, no. I just can't do it. And people, I mean, I honestly get asked to promote even things that are not related to nails, and they want to pay, and I'm just like, man, it seems so weird for me to try and sell name jewelry. Like, I don't wear necklaces. I don't wear this. Why am I going to, I don't even know how to sell that to you. Because it's not something I'm passionate about. It's not something I know about. Now, there is stuff that's not nail related that I do feel passionate about. I can talk to you for a very long time about some CBD because it's something I'm very passionate about. It's something I've been using for the past 7, 8 years that I believe in very much. It's not nail related, but it's just something I believe in. Let me put this. Who is out here yelling? They done messed up my line. Or is that the TV? Man, I don't want to draw this line all over again. So I'm going to try and clean this up just right here. Y'all ever hear like noises around like the neighborhood? And you're like, man, I might have just witnessed it. I might be the one on the news later. Like, yeah, I heard a scream at about 2 in the morning. I ain't think nothing of it. And I don't know. He was a nice guy. Good night, Libby. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I mean, if it's something you believe in and are passionate about, I absolutely get it. You know, If you're just a ring, you just love ring, you're a ring connoisseur. But again, behind the scenes, I know the amount of companies that will reach out to you. Again, not that it's a bad thing. Like, for as an example, if y'all ever notice, my mom always wears a midi ring. She's worn rings like that since I was in elementary or younger. Always wears one of the rings right here and stuff. And she's lost so much weight. My hand looks wrinkly too from losing weight. But she, would wear multiple ones. So, like, if somebody offered that and she had the rings, that's something she's passionate about, something she loves. She's always looking for a cute one. So, if it comes true, if it comes naturally to what you're doing and you're passionate about it, like, I get it. But if it's just for the sake of it, I just can't do it. Because I had some with the, like, where they asked me to promote, like, a game. I had them where they asked me to, like, oh, this was the one that I couldn't do. And I thought about it for a second. I only thought about it because it was about to be my birthday. But y'all know those, like, roses that last for, like, a year? One company does them, and they reached out to me, like, a few times. And there was so many times I was like, okay. And you just want to give me the roses for free. And I look, I'm like, man, these roses are like $200, $300. And I was telling my boyfriend, like, man, I can't, I absolutely can't try to sell it. Like, I would not buy that. And you're going to give it to me for free. And that's what I suspect. Like, they're going to give you a $250 ring for free that you're going to try to get people to actually pay for. And it depends on your crowd. It depends on what you're doing and things like that. Again, all things taken into account. That just didn't seem right to me. Like, I couldn't push that to y'all, like, as a cute background or anything like that, because that's all it would have been. Like, oh, it's a cute background if it was, $40 or something. But no, $250, $300, $400. I wasn't finna say nothing to y'all about that. I do not feel passionate about it. I cannot relate to it, and it's not affordable. It doesn't hit any of those markers for me. Y'all got me up all types of late. I really messed up this line. Let's see if I can clean it up. Clean it up a little bit. This is not gonna be the most noticeable line. It just adds some character to, like, the layering of it all. The question is, I'll make this line shiny. No, yeah. You stopped following her after that nail culture. What is that? What does that mean? Tell me what that means, Betty. Okay, so now we're going to add stones. Let's move this out the way. I just zoomed into this mess. My little puppy pad is a mess. My stepfather works for a hospital supply. And so for years, I've always got a lot of supplies for free, including these pads. They're like puppy pads. I mean, of course, they're for not for puppies because they're for hospitals. But that's what I call them. So I've always used these to do nails because everything won't get onto whatever surface I'm using. My nail table. This is not my nail table I'm working on. But he's always got free. We had boxes of like free face masks and boxes of gloves and everything. And my mom didn't like all that stuff, so he'd give it away sometimes to people and stuff. Of course, he would keep stuff for me because I needed that. And boy, then this pandemic hit, and I'm like, yeah, because I would always get mad, like, man, you don't never know if we need these things. Now the pandemic hit, and I'm like, man, we could have had like 1,000,000 more boxes of face masks. Uh, 1,000,000 more gloves, except you made him give it all away. Okay, I'm gonna add these crystals. Yeah, because I'm getting sleepy and I should be trying to wake up early for my morning walk. But I'm gonna skip my walk. I had a gym appointment at 10 a.m. That's still early. You know, these nails are so long, it's hard for me to keep them separated. It's so weird. So I'm using a clear Swarovski. I think these are 16s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I want to tell you the Preciosa, they are not the same. They don't have that nice cut. There's an extra cut. Look. I'm going to try to zoom in for y'all. Y'all see this cut right here? It looks like a triangle pointed this way. Like a triangle, like this shape. I'm going to use my crusty hands. Look, let me put it back. There's the cut coming down. Y'all see it right here? It's like a little one. Very tiny. Where the tip of this is showing. Right there. Okay, the Preciosa ones do not have this. You see, you can probably see this one better right under here. So it has the triangle going, pointing up, like where the point is pointing this way where my tool is. And then there's a triangle coming down, like pointing towards this way. The Preciosa ones don't have that. And that's something that makes these freaking Swarovskis just look that much more beautiful. They're more flat on the top. If you look at the Preciosa ones, this flat piece right here, if you can kind of see this angle where it's flat on top right there, looks like a little octagon or something. It's much bigger on the Preciosa ones, more pronounced. And it makes it where they don't catch as much light. They don't have as much. Not that they're ugly, but I'm just trying to tell y'all. Y'all wasn't even talking about it, but I'm just trying to tell y'all my grievances with them. And you're like, oh, they look the same. They're probably just as sparkly. They might last just as well, but they're not the same. Oh, you talking about nail couture? What's up with them? I know people were mad at them because they like were having shipping delays. But I was always under the impression that was COVID related. Oh, let me zoom out my crusty hands. I'm sorry, my hands are so dry, y'all. But at some point, I'll rinse them off with acetone too. Oh, because when I had that acrylic on my hands, I was trying to get it off. So my hands are extra dry and cracked. So I'm using, I don't know if I told you, this Stay Put Jelly jewelry gel in a tube from Daily Charm, which I really like. It's a little costly, but it works really well. I'm just sinking these beads into this gel. I get them right and cure them. So I'm gonna make sure I get this where I want it to be. And I'm gonna be doing the other hand probably tomorrow, but it won't be on live. I'm gonna do an actual edited video because I can't. The other hand's gonna take me much longer. And I figured it'd be best to do it in an edited little 30-minute video or something like that. I'm just using this LED light to flash cure and get that locked in so I don't mess it up and it doesn't move around. This gel is pretty thick and will keep stuff put pretty well. Oh, that's what he. Yeah. I know he came out with the opera type nails. I don't know what's up with that. A lot of companies did actually. It makes me wonder, like, are they soft gel as well? Did they not patent them, or did they make them? Did they purchase like the patent, the rights to use the patent? Like I said, are they not soft gel? Are they just plastic? Because Opre tips are soft gel, and I know that, and that's what kind of sticks out about them. I don't know if the Kiara Sky ones are, the E-Nail Contour, or the Wildflower ones, or any other brand. I don't know that they're soft gel. They never tell me that I know of. I may be wrong, but I haven't noticed that. So it's just kind of weird. So I'm just going to get this in the right spot. They are supposed to be soft gel. Okay. See, and I'm just so curious if Opre did not have a patent or they bought a patent from somebody. And so I'm just brushing out that gel. We don't want to have a lip of gel. I'm gonna flash cure that, and I'm gonna put it in the light. Doesn't that look cute? That sound obnoxious. Doesn't that look cute? And see, what I like about it is these are for this hand. So once they're on this hand, the stones are gonna be on the side that shows more. And it doesn't even matter because I'm never wearing these nails anywhere. I'm just gonna wear them enough to get a lot of pictures and videos. because I need to go viral. Mama got some bills to pay. Okay, let's take a break for a second. The Opera tips, these that I'm using are made with gel. They're not plastic. It may look plastic and seem like it, but they are made with builder gel. They are made with an apex. A lot of plastic tips are not built with an apex. So if you look at them from the side, you can see that they come up. Their strength right here, you would ensure that you have enough gel under here to fill in that space. So you would have strength through the body of this right here. It has a very steep C curve, again, for strength. And the silhouette from the side. Again, a lot of those other tips, they're just plastic tips. They don't have the strength. They don't have the apex. They don't have a C curve. None of that. So you're essentially like, if I was to build this nail, you're going to, like, this is like me building a nail and taking it off almost, if that makes sense. It's 12:27. Where are you at, Betty? Yeah, Opera is an actual brand. Yeah, Opera, there's another brand that is not known, but they're said to be the ones before Opera, and I forgot what they were called. But all these other brands, again, that's why I was asking, like, I don't see where another brand says that they are actually made from gel. They can be. But yes, that's the deal with the Opera branded ones. And they're kind of the first brand to make that popular, and they've made a beautiful brand of it, honestly, with their accessories, their systems, their light, their little lamp. These are just so cute. I don't know why, but they do read Christmas to me, like little presents. I'm just pouring out some micro beads. I'm gonna pick up a little gel right here. I can't wait till I do the other hand. So on the other hand, did y'all all see my design for the other hand, my plan? Well, just the details, the decals and the Swarovski charms. Yeah, I'll probably do some more builder gel videos in the future, but I want to get I want this to be more about the actual design itself, at least for the holiday nails. I think it's kind of fun to do these very themed designs. I said it in my last video, I love a good theme. I may not even like what is happening, But I like a good theme. Oh, I'm off camera. Okay, let me look at that from multiple angles. Again, I'm gonna flash cure this, just make sure it's locked in place. And do the next one. And I'm going to just blend out this crystal gel, just the very edge of it, so we don't have a line of demarcation. Look at it from both ways, just to make sure these beads look right from all angles. And there's a clunk of gel right there I want to blend out. Flash cure. What y'all saying about? Yeah, Swarovski is expensive. Oh, I don't know anything about Marquette, nothing. They've actually approached me a couple times. But you know, I'm gonna be very frank with y'all. Some companies, again, I tell y'all, I like to use brands and companies that have products I believe in. So if I've never tried your product, you're like, oh, I'm gonna send it to you for free. Will you make a video? Well, how much are you gonna pay me to review your product? Are you open to honest? Because some companies will approach you like, yeah, will you just do a video with your honest opinion? Just because they believe in their product so much, they assume it's gonna be good. But you know, just if you have any, feedback, we love to hear it. We just want to get our brand out there. Okay, but then it's like, well, to do a video and edit it, it's not. Turning on this camera and doing live is much easier. To what goes behind editing a video and setting it up, blah blah blah, it's a lot. So you're gonna send me, for as an example, Marquette, you're gonna send me, one of y'all's kits, which is affordable as it is, which is great that y'all's whole thing is affordable. But I have to know, of course, it probably costs you $5 for that whole kit. So you're gonna send me $5 of product. Of course, you could have sold it for 40 or something, but still, you're gonna send me $5 of product for me to take, hours out of my life to do. You're not talking about any commission. You're not talking about, paying me to do the video. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. And now, if it was a product I believed in, I would have already told y'all about that. If it's something I stumbled across naturally, I would have already told y'all. Or I would tell y'all in the, whenever it happens naturally. If it's something they wanted to pay me for, I would tell y'all, this brand gave me this to try out. I'm going to tell y'all, and I'm going to tell y'all my honest opinion. But none of those things are true. So I just yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I mean, not that I have this huge problem with them necessarily. I know they'll take advantage of people, companies like that. Not saying them specifically. Companies will take advantage of people. They want to send you $8 of free product for you to use, take hours to make a good video and good content for. And then that's it. You don't get commission or anything. You just feel happy to have gotten free product. And that's absolutely great. I'm so appreciative of those things, genuinely. But if you want to send me the free product and just like, yeah, if you like it, and which I have had companies do, like, can we just send you stuff? If you like it, share it. If you don't, don't. And that's perfect. Because again, I share stuff with y'all that I like, that I've used. So if you send me a Marcat kit, just like, hey, see if you like it. And I'm up here playing one night or something, or use it with a client, or I try it out and I like it, then great, you know? So I'm using a no wipe top coat and I'm sealing around the stones and over these beads. Sorry, I'm breathing hard, y'all. But y'all do that when y'all get full. Right? And I have to walk the line of, it's not a line that I walk. I always want to, again, tell y'all stuff that's good. But I also have to walk a line of, thinking of what's profitable for me. That's what everybody does. That's what we have to do. But I will always approach that with integrity. And, there's some people that don't. And I always think of like Instagram, like models, I got my air quotes models, that like sell like that slimming tummy tea. And it's like, man, I've seen a couple of y'all behind the scenes. You don't use it. You just got liposuction. They just contacted your managers to say, they'll pay you $5,000 if you do this ad. That's a lot of money. But see, myself, I'd be like, okay, well, let me try the slim and tummy tea for the next 4 weeks and see if it works. And then if it works, y'all can pay me $5,000 for the ad. That's my thought on it. Like, I really want to see. Or I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm not taking, knowing me in real life for real, I wouldn't, because I imagine it'd probably give you jitters. I'll tell y'all that I have anxiety. I find it hard to take medicine, very much so. I have a wild fear of taking medicine. So I know something like that is probably going to increase my heart rate and my energy and stuff like that. So I'd probably say no off top, but that's just my little example. But I just like have to genuinely try it first. But just to see people like, yeah, I've never tried it, send it to me, I'll take the picture and post it. Like, you're not even gonna try it for like a week and see if you lose a few pounds? Oh, girl. I don't even drink coffee. I love sweet tea to death. I had to stop drinking it or I had to get decaf. But I'm gonna have to make it at home. Cause there's been like twice I don't do Starbucks anymore. I'm off of that. But there were some times where I went and I'd ask for decaf every time, and I know like twice they did not give me decaf. It had me about to, oh my God, just straight panic attack. Yeah, that's again, y'all will catch me again. I take my allergy medicine only because I'm miserable if I don't. And it's something like there's certain things I've grandfathered in like before. I had a very bad experience. What I had is when I was growing up, let me tell you, when I was growing up, I didn't have anxiety. I really didn't have fear of a lot of things. It's kind of crazy to kind of watch. You're like, I'm sure it's crazy to my mom. Like, I'm jumping out in the ocean, I'm taking stuff. I'm young and I'm taking, I'll take your pill if you want me to. I'm gonna see what it's about. And then I had a bad migraine and I went to the hospital by myself. And this one makes me also scared for people with like COVID, because I went by myself. It was just late. My mom was asleep and I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I mean, I've always been cool. I haven't really been scared of hospitals. And they gave me a cocktail of medicine. They gave me Benadryl, Phenagrin, and God, I can't think of the last medicine. There was 3 medicines. And that gave me a panic attack, like medically gave me one. Oh, to the point I ripped out my IV from my arm. I was shaking like so bad. I drove myself home and I'm bleeding out so bad. I'm bleeding all over my shirt and everything just down my arm, and I'm driving. And I went home and I told my mom, like, I don't know what it means. I feel like something is wrong with my bones. Like, my bones are shivering. They're like, I don't understand. Like, it never, again, I was solid before that. I've came a long way since that, because that just spun me into having general anxiety. I was always having anxiety about having anxiety, if that makes sense. And I was scared to death of medicine. I thought it was all going to do that to me afterwards. And so if I took it, my logic was, if I took it before I had that experience and it didn't make me feel that way, I could take it now. So I took, my Zyrtec. I took ibuprofen before then. I would take whatever the antacid medicine. So them are the only ones I would take. Past that. So too long of a story for me to tell y'all now, but fast forward, I've gotten a little better. I'll take vitamins. And CBD, I said, like, I've been taking CBD the past 7 or 8 years. It's man. I could like preach about it. I could talk about it for days. But it has helped me so much with so many different things. And I'm glad it actually became a crazy trend I did not see happening. I'm so sad I didn't jump on, like, getting a brand to get, like, it never crossed my mind. I thought it was going to be a niche thing. I really did. If I would have known, it would have became such a big thing. I probably could have invested some money, got me a little brand, a farm, and etc. Who knows? It's never too late, right? It's just so saturated. But a lot of brands are not good, actually. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully she will be okay. The great thing to hope for or to look forward, I don't even know the best words to say right then, but scientifically, we do not know enough about COVID. That's a fact, but we know a lot more than we did. And so that's better. So we're seeing people, coming out of it, not unscathed, but we're saving a little bit more people from it than we were at first because we understand it a little better. I say we like I'm on the scientist team. Me and Anthony Fauci are cracking it. It's just me and Fauci trying to figure this COVID thing out. But yeah, that's the thing is, not that it's a good thing to get it at all. But, to be, somebody who got it, at this stage when we know a little bit more, it's, much more hopeful. But, it seems like she's doing pretty good for them to, send her home. Usually they send you home if they think you're, gonna be mild and handle it. So I hope all is well with her. Oh, good night, extra cream, extra sugar. Good night. I'm gonna be done here shortly as soon as I get the matte top coat on these other two. Oh, because my tailbone is hurting. What is that? I'm gonna think about if I want to make the gold line shiny or not. I think I'm gonna wait till I design the other hand and see. I'll just go back over the gold line with some top coat. Oh wow, extra cream, extra sugar. I'm so sorry to hear. Oh, she lives in a home. Hopefully they keep like good observation of her. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I hope she's okay. And hopefully they are keeping good watch of her. So I'm just, man, I know I went on top of this bead with this top coat. So I'm just going as close as possible. This is the tedious part with matte top coat and crystals. I would actually tell you if to charge more. Charge more if you're doing matte top coat with crystals. Because it is much more tedious to get right. Because I would have been done. If I didn't decide to do this matte. Okay, so I got it close to the stones, but not on them. Maybe I got it accidentally on that one bead, but do better than me. Yeah, I'm glad that you're able to talk to her. Oh, that's so sad. We just need better ran facilities, a better ran government that cares about people. There are so many gaps in our system, in our country, and this has revealed, COVID has revealed those gaps, like blaring the truth, made them so obvious. Like if you didn't know how badly run certain places were before, like you will know now. And that's the good/bad thing. I mean, it's not a good thing, but to be able to reveal it and, hopefully people get angry enough about it, sad enough about it, touched enough about it to do something. Oh, my audio. I don't know what to do about it. I'm so sorry. But I am about to be done in a couple minutes anyway. Because I'm about sleepy. That's how you know you did nails too long. When you're mad at it now, like, I'm over this nail. I'll throw this whole nails away. I'm too sleepy. No, I love what I think this whole set can be. I'm excited to finish the other hand tomorrow. And edit that video. Hopefully I can get it up to y'all. Probably, I want to say hopefully Wednesday, but I know me. Hopefully by Thursday. But I do hope Wednesday though. My hands are just getting ashier and drier like by the second. Okay, let's put that in. All right. So tomorrow I'm gonna do my little plan nail, except this one I'm gonna have to do something different because I was trying to do that sweater, that braided sweater technique. Like, it did not come out. I was trying to do that. That's what I drew with snowflakes. You see the snowflake I drew, like barely. So this is my little ugly sketch plan that I have for the other hand, but all 5 nails are gonna be different. We're gonna have more bling. We're gonna have, I'm thinking I might, this is supposed to be like a argyle print right here, so I can kind of go with the plaid and be different. I want this is all gonna be mostly black. Okay, and if you're new here, I already showed y'all before, but we have these bows and these rainbows. What are they called? Bows and reindeer. Whoa, that was so funny. I mixed up bows and reindeer and I made rainbows. Did y'all hear that? So I'm gonna hit them. I'm gonna do this. That. We don't need two reindeers on one nail, huh? One hand? Probably not. But anyways, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna have to do something else with this nail. But I'm gonna use that and oh, where's my stickers? And these little gold stickers, which this gold matches. But again, I might make this top coat this and make this back shiny. I'm gonna have to think about it. But I'm gonna use these little drop downs right here on this nail. We'll probably add some crystals on there, down there. It's gonna be some other things, but I'm gonna have to switch this up and see if I can actually do an argyle print too. So this might be all different, but for sure I plan to use these bows and this reindeer. That's the whole reason I'm kind of doing it for, and these. So you will see these and a whole bunch of other things. So look out for that video. It's not gonna be a live, like I said, it's gonna be like an edited, a little 20-30 minute video, however long it takes, and not no 5-hour video like the live. So yeah, so this is going to be one hand. This is actually going to be my right hand. Good night, y'all. Ooh, this works good. So these are gonna be on this hand. The glue tabs are not efficient right now. So I like that the stones are gonna end up on that side, on their hands. I don't even know why I care again. Oh, that's the thumb, pointer, middle finger, pinky, ring finger. Okay. Ooh, these glue tabs work. They're right there. So that is our plaid set that we did. I thank you guys for watching and being here and having conversations with me and staying up way too late. Enjoyed y'all's conversation and your company. And yeah, we're 199 minutes in it. I think 200 minutes is more than enough time. So good night, y'all. Bye.